Everyone believes they're free. Free to speak, to choose, to live as they wish. But what if that sense of freedom, the feeling that you're in control of your own life, is the most sophisticated illusion ever created? Modern society doesn't take your freedom away. It convinces you to surrender it willingly, and it does this so elegantly that most people spend their entire lives thinking they've made their own choices, when in reality, they've only chosen between the options someone else designed for them. Freedom in the 21st century is no longer a principle. It's a product, branded, sold, and marketed like anything else. You are told you're free to choose what to buy, what to believe, what to follow. But the deeper question is, who built the shelf you're choosing from? Because if every decision you make exists inside boundaries set by invisible hands, how free are you really? In the industrial age, control was visible: chains, uniforms, laws. But in the information age, control became invisible. It now hides inside convenience, entertainment, and identity. You don't need to be forced into obedience anymore. You simply have to be distracted enough to accept it. The system doesn't say you must. It whispers you can. And because choice feels empowering, you mistake permission for freedom. Freedom has been turned into the ultimate advertisement. Every brand, every politician, every platform sells it back to you in a different form. Freedom through technology. Freedom through consumption. Freedom through belonging. But none of them mean freedom in its true sense. The ability to define your own meaning beyond what's being sold to you. When everything around you is designed to keep you busy, comfortable, and endlessly entertained, you stop noticing the walls closing in. The more distracted a society becomes, the less it questions its boundaries. And the fewer questions people ask, the freer they believe they are. Freedom today is defined by abundance, not autonomy. You have infinite choices of clothes, content, careers, and opinions. But almost none of those choices truly matter. You can choose what to watch, but not the algorithm that decides what's shown. You can choose what to buy, but not the system that defines what has value. You can choose what to say, but not the platform that determines who gets heard. This is the illusion. 1,000 doors, all leading back to the same room. The room where every path ends in profit for someone else. You think you're walking freely, but the map itself is drawn for you. The French philosopher Jean Baudrillard once said, "Freedom has become simulation, the ability to choose between options that have already been chosen for you." And that's exactly what the modern world perfected. We're given the comfort of options, the thrill of individuality, the pride of expression, all within the limits of systems that depend on predictability. True freedom is dangerous because it's unpredictable. So instead, society gives you just enough choice to keep you content, and just enough illusion to keep you obedient. In the past, rulers used fear to control the masses. Today, control comes through desire. It's not oppression, it's seduction. You are not told to obey. You are invited to participate. And participation feels like empowerment. When the cage is invisible, there's no reason to fight it. If you're watching this right now, you already sense that something about the modern world doesn't feel quite right. So before we go deeper, take a second to subscribe. Not because I'm asking for it, but because what comes next might just change how you see everything around you. Let's keep going. From politics to pop culture, the illusion of freedom is carefully maintained through one thing: narrative. We are told stories of progress, of merit, of self-made success, stories that make the world feel fair, logical, and controllable. But behind those stories lies a complex network of power that defines what we can aspire to and what we cannot imagine at all. Take democracy. You are free to vote, but only within the boundaries of a pre-built system. You can change the players, but not the game. Take capitalism. You are free to buy, but that freedom only exists within the marketplace someone else owns. You can express your individuality, as long as it's profitable. And take social media. You are free to speak, but your visibility depends on engagement, not truth. In every system, your participation is encouraged, but your influence is managed. The result? People who feel independent, yet behave predictably. A society that celebrates freedom but measures it in clicks, views, and sales. And a world where control no longer needs enforcement, because it's become voluntary. The digital age has given us tools that appear to amplify our freedom. But those same tools define its limits. Algorithms decide what deserves your attention. Platforms decide what voices matter. And each personalized experience is actually a subtle form of containment. A mirror reflecting back what keeps you most comfortable, most distracted, and most docile. The internet doesn't control you by restricting access. It controls you by giving you more of what you already agree with. And when you never see beyond your own reflection, you begin to mistake that mirror for the world. That is the genius of modern control. You can live your entire life inside an invisible system of influence and never realize you were part of it. Freedom, at its core, is not the ability to choose. It's the awareness of what you're choosing from. It's the power to question the framework itself, not just to navigate within it. But awareness comes with discomfort, and discomfort doesn't sell well. That's why true freedom, the kind that demands responsibility, has been replaced with comfort disguised as liberation. The world tells you that happiness and freedom are the same thing. But happiness without awareness is just a tranquilized form of obedience. The philosopher Erich Fromm once wrote, "Modern man, while claiming to be free, is enslaved by the very instruments that expand his freedom. We invented machines to liberate time, but now our time belongs to the machines. We created networks to connect humanity, but now we live for the validation of strangers. We wanted freedom from limits and ended up imprisoned by abundance." Breaking this illusion doesn't mean running away from society. It begins with learning to see the boundaries that define it. Real freedom isn't external. It's internal. It's the ability to think clearly, to question constantly, and to act in alignment with what you truly believe, even when it costs you something. That's the price of freedom no one talks about. It's not about having endless options, it's about having the courage to walk away from the wrong ones. Every great act of progress began when someone refused to accept the default reality. Every system that ever claimed to set people free eventually revealed the walls it was built on. And every individual who truly understood freedom realized it doesn't come from permission. It comes from awareness. In the next episode of Behind the World, we'll go from illusion to infrastructure, from the idea of freedom to the economics that define it. We'll explore the economics of control, how money, debt, and value systems quietly shape the limits of human potential. Until then, stay curious, stay awake, and remember,
you may be free to choose,
but only if you know who built your choices.